This is Zach Moss, NFL running back and former Utah Utes running back. You're listening to the Utah Utes Football Digest, the source for Utah Utes football. Go Utes.
All right, what is up, guys? This is Joseph with the Utah Utes Football Digest. Coming back at you. Super exciting, guys. We just had a huge win over Arizona State last week. I know I've said it a few times that when we beat USC and even when we beat Washington State, that we really felt like we had hit some turning points. I really got to say, though, last week's win against Arizona State felt like just a different level of a turning point. Just kind of us going from, like, our other turning points were us going from a team that looked in disarray to us becoming a team that looked solid and then slowly becoming a team that would look good. I think against Arizona State, that win, if you watch my breakdown leading up to the game, you know that was not just any team. This was an elite squad. They were one of the most talented teams in college football, stacked from head to toe on both sides of the ball. I couldn't believe how he went 28 unanswered on those guys. That was wild. And I think that was our stepping point to become a very, very good team. I think people around the country know that Utah is a team to be messed with. I wish we could have another shot at BYU. I wish we could have another shot at San Diego State. I think with the squad we have right now and the way our team looks, we run through those guys. I really believe that. It's not just about Brewer getting replaced with Rising. It's the whole team is better. But anyways, I just think we've hit such a good stride, guys. It's not going to be a cakewalk from here out. We got a lot of good teams still to play. The first one of them is going to be Oregon State. You take a look at this screen here. We're seeing Oregon State is the number 2 team in the Pac-12 North. They have the exact same record as us. Their fans probably feel the same way that they get over this hump. They're a top 25 team. And that's how I feel about us. We get past this game, we're in the top 25. I bet you Oregon State fans feel the same way. I do not think this team is as good as Arizona State was, but they do a lot of things really well. The question is, can we do what we do well better than what they do well? So let's go ahead and take a look. Before we dive into the different player grades, one thing I want to look at is going to be what the teams look like. So the first thing I want to show you guys is Oregon State's rushing yards per game. Check this out, man. 241 rushing yards per game for Oregon State. That is really high. That is a top 10 rushing yards per game team. And if you look to the right, just one column at this last three, 291. That means over their last 3 games, they're averaging 291 rushing yards a game. This is going to be one of the keys to our victory, guys. We got to be able to shut down this running game and at least contain it and make them, not be able to just get these huge explosive plays on us. This really seems to me where we're going to need to step up to beat Oregon State. That's no joke. The last 3 games, they're averaging 291 rush yards per game. That's wild. That's like 75 yards a quarter. We really need to step up to the plate and make sure we shut that down. Let's take a look at Oregon State's passing game. All right, so they're number 92 in the country for passing. 201 passing yards per game. Really, really poor over the past 3 games. 139 yards per game over the past 3 games. Look at all these other terrible pass yards per game team here. None of them are as bad as Oregon State over the past 3 games when it comes to pass yards. What does that tell me? What does that tell you guys? So when we look at those numbers, that means we need to commit to shutting down this run. This pass game might be better than it's being portrayed over the last 3 games. It could just be they're running the ball so damn well that they're not passing as much as, they don't have to pass. So it could be a little better than what we're looking at, but obviously this is the weaker part of their 2 games. We need to punch them in the mouth. We need to shut down the run game for Oregon State if we want to get a win. If we want to move past that and move towards, becoming a top 25 team. All right, and now let's take a look at Oregon State's opponent rush yards per game. So check this out. One of our strong suits is our ability to run the ball. That's kind of one of Utah's staple things. 104 rush yards per game for Oregon State's defense. It's really good. So that means they're only letting up 104 rush yards per game. And over the last 3, it's about the same. It's 114. Still really solid. The number 17 defense when it comes to running the ball against them per game. Very solid run defense team. We're going to need to find a way. We just need to make sure that we're on top of it, and we need to find a way to run the ball. That's going to come down to Ludwig. He's going to need to find creative ways to make us work that. I think we have a really good stable of running backs, and I have no doubt in my mind that with the right game plan, we can get Tavion Thomas some real yards, some real carries, and let him explode through these guys here. All right, now let's take a look at Oregon State's pass defense per game. This is where it's going to get exciting, guys. This is where we should be pretty happy. Check this out. 315 passing yards per game. Not much better over the last 3. 298.7. What does that tell you, guys? That tells me that Cam Rising is going to have the pressure on him. But as much as he's going to have the pressure on him, this could be, I mean, he's gotten, I think it's back-to-back Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Weeks for Cam Rising. Just ridiculously good over the past 2 weeks. But what that tells me, when I see that Oregon State is at 315 pass yards per game against their defense, we are going to light them up throwing the ball, guys. I don't think that they're going to contain the run the way those numbers say. We are a very good running team, and if they already struggle stopping the pass, just wait until we start getting our run game going. Then you have to just sell out, because that's what you're good at. You're going to have to sell out, or we're going to run the ball down your throat, and then we're going to start launching passes on you with Cam Rising. This is going to be exciting, guys. I don't want to say this is a given win, but I think we match up really well against these guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at Utah's numbers, okay? So when we're looking at rush yards per game, Utah, very good rush team. 173 yards average on the season. And then when you look one row to the right, you can see here, 201 yards over the last 3 games. You know, that is very good over these last 3 games. Not many teams are keeping up with us at 201 yards over the last 3 games. So, yeah, overall in the season we're at 173. But that's, when you look at those last 3 games, I would imagine we're more like a top 40, top 30 run team when you look at these numbers. And then let's go ahead and take a look at Utah's passing game. Utah's passing game, number 79 in the country. Not super great, right? 218 yards per game average, 230 over the last 2 games. I do want to, or over the last 3 games. I do want to make a point, though. These last 2 games, we have run the ball a lot towards the end of the game. We took significant leads at one point in the game. And I'd say against Arizona State and against USC, probably towards the end of the 3rd quarter, we were heavily running the ball because we had a very solid lead, if not the beginning of the 4th quarter. I think that game, not to say that we're the best passing team in the country or anything, but I think we're a lot higher ranked than that number shows, and they could sleep on our pass game, and we could really make them pay for doing that. So, exciting there. They're a very good pass or run defense team. So either way, we should be able to throw the ball really well on them. All right, now let's take a look at Utah's defense. So, boom. So this is for rushing yards per game against our defense, 147.6. But look at this, guys, 103.3. That's incredible. Look at this. If we were averaging over the season what we're averaging over the past 3 games, we're almost a top 15 rush defense. So super exciting there. We do need to show up to the party, though. This is a big game. So let's take a look here, and then Utah right here. So if you guys look, pass yards per game, 215.8. And then over the last 3 games, 295.3. Kind of been getting torched a little over the past 3 games when it comes to the passing. Hopefully we can contain that a little more and lock that up tight. But either way, I think we match up really well with this team. I'm shocked with these defensive numbers just because I think our defense has been showing up so damn well. All right, but let's go ahead and dive into Oregon State's team, guys. Oregon State. So first off, let's take a look at their quarterback. Bam. Okay, so Chance Nolan, 81.4 grade. Just so you guys, if you guys are newer to the channel, that's a very good grade. He's the number 42 quarterback in all of college football. Big deal. Very good passer at 82.5. Mediocre runner, 63.2. He's going to be a big deal, right? They do not throw the ball that much, but what that tells me is when he's in a 3rd and short or even a 3rd and long, he's going to be a guy that can make those tough throws. So we need to make sure we do a good job containing this guy. Okay, and now let's take a look at the wide receivers for Oregon State. Okay, bam. All right. Okay, cool. So take a look at this. One good thing about our cornerback room is that it is depth heavy, right? We have a few solid guys. We might struggle a little to take on Trayvon Bradford, but the other 2 guys, you know, we should be able to lock them up pretty well and not stress too much about it, especially this Beeson guy, number 18. Shouldn't be anything special. That's a pretty bad grade. So I'm thinking we can definitely hold these guys down. Hopefully we got to kind of work this guy out of the game. But either way, I think our game plan is going to be to force them to throw the ball and shut down this run game. So this is where we're looking at a big-time player here. So what is this guy's name? The Oregon State running back. All right, Oregon State. Okay, so the Oregon State running backs, they've got 2 of them here. One's kind of balanced. They're both awful pass blockers, but this guy's a very good runner, B.J. Baylor, number 51 running back in the country. He's obviously racking up some yards. Let's go ahead and just look up his numbers real quick. Stats. All right, boom. Okay, B.J. Baylor, his stats on the season. Okay. Okay, check it out. So in 2021, this guy's got 678 yards already. That's just through 6 games, so he's averaging over 100 yards per game, and he's got 9 touchdowns. This is a guy that's a big part of their offense, big playability, 6.8 yards a carry. That's someone we're going to need to watch out for and really try to shut down as much as we can. We didn't look it up earlier, but why don't we look up Chance Nolan as well on Oregon? Let's check out his Oregon State stats. Chance Nolan, Oregon State. All right. Boom. All right. Chance Nolan. Okay. All right. So just over 1,000 passing yards on the season, right? Nothing special. That's over 6 games. It's actually pretty rough. 1,053 yards over 6 games. He does have a decent amount of passing touchdowns, though. What I like to see here is he's throwing some picks too. I mean, 5 picks through 6 games. It's almost a pick a game. So we should be able to get a turnover on this guy with the way our defense plays. Let's move on to the next position. Let's go ahead and look at their tight ends. Tight ends. We went up against one of the best tight end rooms in the country last week against Arizona State. They had a better tight end group than we did. All right, so the number 29 tight end in the country, Tegan Quatoriano, number 84, a 73 grade. This other guy, Luke Musgrave, really struggling out here. I mean, that's a pretty bad grade. I don't think we should stress too much about him. He's an okay run blocker. But check this out. Tegan's got a good receiving grade. He's going to be someone we want to watch out for. But either way, neither of these guys are crazy good run blockers, and I think that's what we're most worried about against these guys. So hopefully our linebackers can go toe-to-toe with them and, not be able to be stopped when they're trying to stop runs. So when we're looking at centers, let's take a look. This was actually, I was looking at them earlier today, a very good offensive line here. So Nathan Eldridge, a 76.1, 77.2 run blocking grade. This is what I was noticing, guys. That's a really good run blocking grade. This O-line is kind of the heart and soul of this run blocking team, or why they're able to bust open such big runs all the damn time. Let's take a look. Boom. Check this out too. Both these guys are over a 75. This guy, number 69, is a 75.1. Number 70 is a 76.9. I mean, these are both top 30 guards in college football. These guys are legit. Both have really good run block grades. This guy's got a pretty good pass grade too. But just check it out, man. You can tell what their plan is. They plan on having beefy, physical O-linemen that break your will and run the ball on you and use that to move open big holes for their running back, and they just drain you down. I mean, 291 rush yards per game. This O-line must be making some serious holes. Okay. All right. All right, boom. Okay, let's pull up their tackles. Boom. So the interior of their offensive line was a bunch of just studs. With the tackles, it's a really good group there. We got the 81.9 run block for number 67, 77.2 run block for number 68. Both guys, again, over a 75. I got to tell you, definitely the most well-rounded offensive line and definitely the best run blocking offensive line we faced. It is going to be a tough matchup for us. Let's go ahead and take a look how our defense matches up against this offense, okay? So let's start with our cornerbacks. So the cornerbacks for Utah, like I was saying earlier, we have a well-rounded group. We don't have any stars, but I don't think we have any major weaknesses in our cornerback room. Check it out. We got a 66.6, 63.6, and 62.5. Fabian and Mattielli struggling in coverage a little. I mean, so is Clark Phillips. But check it out. So Marks and Mattielli have really good run defense grades. What I like about that is, against such a good running offense team, they're not going to give up those big plays, right? These guys are going to make those open field tackles. I gave Marks a shout out last week that he really impressed me with the open field tackles. So that's really good to see for us. And let's check out our safety room. We have one of the best players in college football in this safety room. Boom. Let's pull him up here. Utah. Okay. Yep, Utah. Check it out. So Bonte Davis, he's the number 32 safety in college football. 79.5 coverage grade, very good, and a 70 run defense grade, very solid. He comes down and sticks people all the time, guys. He's number 9. He's going to need to step up and make plays and not let them break away. We need to rely on these guys for the open field tackles. So hopefully he comes in ready to play, ready to make plays. So really excited to see Bonte Davis step up. And now our linebackers, guys. This has been one of the highlights of the team all year, and I really think they're going to be put to the test. Our D-line's not trash, but they're not going to be enough to stop this offensive line. We need these guys to step up. We need our linebackers out there making plays. I hope we're loading the box pretty heavy on a regular basis. Obviously, we have the number 6 linebacker in college football, Devin Lloyd. Number 0, really good run defense grade. Fury, very good run defense grade. Sewell, really good run defense grade, our best run defender on the team. And we got a bunch of studs at linebacker here. Hopefully we can load this box and use these guys to stop this run, because we're going to need to line up against these offensive linemen and, at least limit the big plays. We need to make them earn every yard. When you're talking about a run team like this, you really need to limit the big runs, but more than anything, what you need to do is not let those 3 to 5 yard runs turn into 15 to 20 yard runs. That's when things get ugly. Okay, like this. So Kafusi, pretty solid run defender, so hopefully we can get him in there. The rest of this interior defensive line is struggling against the run. It's a bad sign, if I'm being straight with you guys. They are going to need to step up in order to make this happen. Our linebackers are going to have a lot of pressure on them, but this interior D-line is going to have a lot of pressure on them. So hopefully they can, we have big interior D linemen. Hopefully they can use their big bodies and physicality to kind of have a coming out party this week. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. Okay, check it out. Tafua. This could be big time for him. So check it out. Tafua, very solid edge defender, 75.3. What I love, 73 run defense grade. He's going to need to hold the edge against these runs. He's going to need to make some plays. I really hope he can show up this week and become a big playmaker on this defense, and this could be a big day for him. So I'm excited. I'm hoping he gets out there and makes it happen. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our offense, okay? So the first guy we're going to talk about, you know who, the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week the past 2 weeks. Let's take a look at the guy. Boom, you know who I'm talking about. Thick Boy 7, Cam Rising. Bam. 79.5 grade. This really good, guys. He's in the top half of quarterbacks in college football. Number 56 quarterback in college football, and he's played some tough teams over the course of his stretch as a starter. Very good passer, solid runner. He's going to need to have a day. Like we talked about before, this is one of the worst pass defense teams in the conference, in the country. Really rough pass defense. I really see this game going this route, right? Our run game needs to be established. We need to show them that their ability to stop the run is not as good as our ability to run. Once we do that, the game's going to be on rising shoulders. It's going to be drop back and dice these guys apart. No more turnovers, okay? Let's make sure we're not turning the ball over, but let's make sure we're making plays. Seriously, the receivers need to step up. Rising needs to step up. This could be a big day. Honestly, if there's going to be a game where Rising throws for more than 300 yards, it's this one. I would tell you guys if my guess for Rising would be at least 275 yards. If he comes out and does what he needs to do, we're gonna be putting up real yards against this Oregon State defense. All right, and then Britton Covey is gonna need to make plays. This is our receiving unit. Honestly, they have been stepping up the past few weeks. I want to see Britton Covey go out there and light them up in the pass game. I want to see Vele do his thing and make those big plays in the pass game. He's been showing up the past few weeks. Not sure if Enos is going to be healthy for this game. Hopefully he is. Howard, a lot better than those numbers are saying. Actually was wide open on a play last week and just Rising overthrew him. Hopefully we can get all four of these guys worked in. This is actually a very solid group from what I've been noticing. We just need to work them in and strategically get the balls in their hands. So, all right, now we're going to move on to running backs. Probably the best group of this offense when we're talking about an actual group. All right, boom, check it out. All right, I'm not sure how Tavion Thomas only has 87 offensive snaps. It really doesn't feel that way. It feels like the past 2 games he's been our workhorse. It's kind of weird. All right, but he's at 80.3 grade. He's going to be a big part of this. Yeah, they have a good run defense, but are they good enough to stop our guy? I mean, this guy is a Mack truck, dude, and he is fast. I would compare him to like a, I don't know if you guys follow the Jets at all, but I remember there's a guy from Iowa named Sean Green on our team, number 23. Just a very, like, not a super athlete when it comes to speed downhill, but very quick. That's who he reminds me of. And Zach Moss, the guy at the beginning of the video, who is not me. I am not Zach Moss. I am Joseph. But just a big-time playmaker, a guy that has a lot of athleticism and is so damn hard to bring down. I mean, I think he breaks a tackle at almost every play before they bring him down. TJ Pledger, too. Really good run grade, so hopefully we can get him involved. And then honestly, Micah Bernard, if his receiving game is this good and they're this bad against the pass, hopefully we can hit him up on some dump-offs, some passes over the middle, some screen plays. I wouldn't be surprised to see us work in a lot of these guys and try to make it happen. So, all right, now moving on to our tight ends, another group for Utah that is really strong, really powerful. Man, it is exciting to go through this nowadays. This offense feels like it got supercharged over the past few weeks. It was kind of depressing going through our offensive grades a couple weeks ago. All right, Dalton Kincaid, the number 13 tight end in all of college football, 77.8 receiving grade. I would actually like to look up what his stats are. Sorry, a little ad popped up there. Okay. Dalton Kincaid. Let's check out his stats on ESPN. Boom. All right. He has 232 yards in the season, 3 touchdowns, and he's got 1 carry for 4 yards. So the yards aren't there, right? But when you have a grade like this, you're doing good things. Does that make sense? I mean, this guy's a real playmaker. Hopefully we can get him more involved. I mean, honestly, it's almost embarrassing he's not more involved. I could see him being a huge target. You have this receiving grade with a very solid quarterback that's able to hook up with a very good tight end and against one of the worst pass defenses in the country. We'll break down their defense right after we go through our offense, but I don't see how we don't make that happen. Another really cool thing to see is Cole Fatheringham kind of just snuck up on us out of nowhere. Very solid grades. We got all 3 of these guys worked into the offense last week so damn much. And it's really cool to see this guy step up. He's the number 36 tight end in college football. And up until a couple weeks ago, I kind of thought he was a liability, if I'm being straight with you. But hey, good for you, Cole. Keep it up, man. I'm excited to see out there. Keep blocking well. Really well-rounded guy, and I like that he can add a little extra blocking element into the passing game. We could definitely use that. All right, and then we got Brant Keithy here. His grade went down a little bit, it looks like. But either way, okay runner, a solid receiver, solid pass blocker. Need to get that run block up. But either way, I would love to see us work this in. This is cool that these guys have such good pass blocking grades. We're going to need to throw the ball against these guys. And I would love to see us, work these guys into the pass blocking routine if they're doing that well. All right, now let's check out our center. It's Nick Ford. This is not one of my favorite parts of this offense. This guy was the Pac-12 Offensive Lineman of the Week last week. And honestly, looking at his grade, it's hard to say that actually means anything that he was the Pac-12 Offensive Lineman of the Week. I have no idea how. Just look at this, man. A 30 pass block grade and a 58.1 run block grade. Man, I really hope this guy is not going to be a liability all night when we're trying to throw the ball, because we're going to need to throw the ball to win this game. So hopefully he can step it up. As much as Cam Rising has been fantastic, it's a little embarrassing how this line is letting up blocks. Cam Rising's just a playmaker and making it happen despite all the odds. If you guys aren't watching, you're missing out, because this guy, Cam Rising, has been special despite the lack of talent on this offensive line. I mean, look at this, guys. Another situation where we have 2 guards. Like, this is not a great grade, but not bad. But this is just really bad. I mean, a 44 pass block, 47 run block. I have no idea how Cam Rising is able to do this. But no matter what the situation is, we need to find a way to let him have time in the pocket and make plays, because he's going to be a big part of how we win this game, guys. All right, now let's take a look at our tackles. This is actually a little bit of a brighter spot for Utah. We moved Braden Daniels out to tackle, and we got Olaseni, who's been stepping up. Solid grades, not the greatest run block grades, but very solid, very good. These guys are going to need to step up and win some one-on-ones and let these guards and center double team some guys, because that's the only way this offensive line is getting out of this alive. All right, now let's check out the guys we're going up against. The cornerbacks for Oregon State. All right, I believe they have some liabilities at corner, but one very good corner. All right. Rajon Wright, very good, 72.2. Very good coverage grade. Probably going to want to stay away from him. I don't know if you guys remember, Rajon Wright was on that show, Last Chance U. That's kind of fun. So glad to see him doing well, but hopefully he doesn't do well against our Utes. And then Alex Austin is the other guy, a 59.3, pretty rough grade, and I like that the bad part of it is in the coverage. Other guys that haven't had a ton of snaps, Nobody super special. I mean, these guys are they can do a little bit, but let's be honest. I mean, 22 snaps, what kind of sample size is that, right? All right, but let's move on to the next group. I think with those cornerbacks, what we're going to need to do is stay away from Rajon Wright and then pick on the other guys, dude. Make sure we slice and dice these other corners. They can't keep up with our receivers, and they sure as hell cannot keep up with our tight ends. So we should have a good time getting those guys done. As long as Cam Rising's on the money, we're going to make it happen. All right, and now let's take a look at their safety group. Really similar to – oh, wait, this is our safety room. All right, so taking a look at the safety room for Oregon State. All right, the Oregon State Beavers, two good safeties. One really good safety, one pretty good safety. So this is going to be a problem. These are two really good coverage grades, right? So you can imagine where we're going to want to hit them is going to be short. If we can get our guys open short and let them make plays, they're bad run defenders, which means what? That means they miss open field tackles. I'm guessing that's where a lot of these pass yards are coming from. You work these corners underneath. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Micah Bernard and Dalton Kincaid really get involved in the action this week. Oh, and Britton Covey. I mean, we have a good group to attack that. We have a lot of players that can catch short passes and make big plays out of it. Where we struggle is getting those huge plays downfield. All right, and now taking a look at our linebacker group, or the Oregon State linebacker group, just dreadful, right? Pretty good run stoppers, explains the good run defense they have, but really bad in coverage. I mean, you get this guy, you get this freaking guy. Are you kidding me? A 29 coverage grade? I don't think I've seen anything that bad on a starter. You get this guy against Dalton Kincaid, just lob it up and hope for the damn best. Jeez-a-loo, dude. We should be able to take advantage of these linebackers. All right, interior defenders. This is going to be a big matchup. You saw what our interior offensive line looks like. I don't want to say trash because I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but you guys, if you're listening, definitely need to step it up. It's kind of a joke what we're seeing out there. Okay, this is good, right? James Rawls, a good run defender, not a good pass rusher. This is their best pass rusher, and I wouldn't call him anything special. Our guys should be able to hold their own against these guys. This is a very promising sign for us. So these guys, some solid run defenders, but just, nothing special about any of these D linemen. Our O-line should be able to step up to the plate. And James Rawls is good against the run. He's not very good against the pass. So could be a good night for this O-line. This could be a good time to step up to the plate and show what you're capable of. All right, our tackle group is going to be the best part of our offensive line that we were just looking at. Let's see what their edge rusher group looks like for Oregon State. Okay, boom. All right. Okay, so we got one good edge defender, a 69.9. Pretty good pass rush for this guy, but a well-rounded guy. The other two edge rushers are dreadful against the run, and only one of them is okay against the pass. This is good, guys. Like I said, we're going to need to work the run in too. I see us working it to this, behind the tackles. If the edge rushers are this bad against the run, that's what we're going to need to do. All right, so that kind of concludes the breakdown here. Just to recap with you guys, what we need to do, there's going to be 3 big points. We need a big day from Cam Rising. We need a big day. We need him to go out there and light up the field. 2, we need to shut down this run. We need to stop this team from running the ball. We don't need to hold them to less than 100 rushing yards or something. But I think a good line is going to be maybe 150, 175, which our team's definitely capable of. I think our team's definitely capable of limiting them and just making sure we don't let these 5 to 7 yard runs or 3 yard runs burst into 20-yard runs. That's how a run game gets deadly. If you guys watched Derrick Henry against the Bills the other day, you saw what can happen if you let these 3 to 5 yard runs turn into big plays. That's what we need to not let happen. And then the final thing is we need our playmakers to step up. We need our playmakers to make stuff happen. I think we just broke down the teams. We saw it feels like the underneath stuff is going to work. And that's going to be Britton Covey. That's going to be Dalton Kincaid. That's going to be Micah Bernard. Hopefully these guys can step up to the plate. I think we're going to make it happen. I think after this week, we're going to be ranked in the top 25. And I don't want to, shoot us in the foot, but I actually do think we're going to get a good win this week, a very solid win. I'm going to go kind of out here, guys. I'm going to say we get a big-time win. I'm going to say we win this game 31-14 for the Utes. We limit their run game, and they're forced to throw. Because once we take a lead with our pass game, they have to throw the ball. And I just don't think they're going to be able to on us. I said we win 31-14. We smash them, and we become not just the top 25 team, but we also become the team that people are thinking can take down Oregon and win the Pac-12. I really see it happening, guys. Again, I love doing these videos. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I love the feedback. Everyone seems to think I'm Zach Moss. I am not. Again, my name's Joseph. I just got a shout out from Zach Moss, who's one of my favorite Utes players all time. Make sure you guys give me some feedback. I want to hear what you guys think. Are there other stars that I'm missing? Are there other stars on Utah that I might be missing that I should be giving shout-outs to? Am I too critical of this offensive line? But either way, guys, I'm excited to hear about it. Please reach out. I love hearing from you guys. And go Utes. Let's go get a win.